Opener time, and it opens with a jump scare. There you go. Look at this. Look at this plush. Pretty good plush. Pretty nice plush. It's a Zelda plush, obviously. Zelda. Look at that. By this person. Jeppy. My finger's over. Jeppy314. It's at that. Is there a thing? Got this from them. And it's nice. It's a nice little thing. Just mentioning it because a lot of people are Zelda fans. And it's really cute. And the final sale for these, this is the last time she's going to do it. She's only have 300 of them, and they're going to be in like late June or early July is when she's going to do it. So if you're interested in this plushie, you should check that out. If you're interested in like the Kirby plushies, well then, try to import them. That's the only way. But this is like a person made these, not a company. So yeah, there you go. That's the opener. Welcome back, friends. Lost Scarf here. Now I want to do a series of introspection with the vlogs for a little bit. But before we do that, let's talk about current events first. Well, real quick. Last week we talked about just like all the projects we do and just all that stuff. And now it's going to be more introspection. But current events, didn't talk about it last week because I did all that current interesting stuff. Israel versus Gaza, but not really. Israel versus Palestine, I mean. Attack on Gaza, it happens. It just keeps happening. It's a slow boiling of the frog. Like, they did a lot this time. They're going to ease up. And they're going to do a lot in some point in the future. Who knows how many years. And then they're going to ease up. And then eventually, there's just not going to be anything there. And it's just an attrition. They're just going to slowly take the Gaza. They're slowly going to take all that. And it's very annoying. It's very frustrating to see just an atrocity like that. It's not cool. What can you do, though? The two-state system's never going to happen without Israel just completely screwing over Palestine. That's just how it's going to be. And that's not great. We like to think we're in this better time, and we are in a lot of ways, but there's still plenty of suffering going on here. Random thing to mention is just the propaganda for Israel. Just put out their hot soldier ladies. They just kept putting them out and acting like, look how hot we are, so we're okay. Like, one is a lady, the picture of her, and she's like, you think I could kill children? The answer is yes. It doesn't matter what's on the exterior, it's on the interior. A hot person can have the blackest soul possible. An ugly person can have the brightest soul possible. Like, the outside doesn't mean the inside. Anything on the outer exterior could be capable of horrible murder. And could be capable of the greatest good. So, yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like, you could still be a piece of shit. Simple as that. Are you kidding me? That whole Israel thing, very unfortunate. And it's something pointed out by John Oliver. It's just, like, we're friends with Israel. But a good friend does tell you when you're being an asshole. It's really important for that. And the US has just not been a good job of that at all. Like, friends should be ride or die. But at the same time, they should also tell you when you're gonna get everyone killed too, kind of thing. Like, dude, we've been friends for a long time, but you are being an ass. Like, that is a real friend there. You can still go with them and try to steer them along the right way while trying to just make them understand that they're doing the wrong thing. This is a narrative thing, but also a thing in real life friendships. But there's a point when you have to either abandon or just go like, dude, and then just, I don't know. Like, it's another example, like a family. Like, let's say your sibling or child murders people. It's very weird to me when there's still my baby, it's still an angel, or whatever. It's your blood. But you should be, of course, horrified. You can still be there for them. But never forget that a horrible thing was done here, and that should, I don't know, that's a extremely gray area that you shouldn't put be in those shoes unless those actually happened to you, I guess. But you just see that where, like, sure, my kid killed a bunch of people, but he's still my kid, and it's like, yeah, they are still your kid, but I don't know, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad your kid killed a bunch of people. It's like that mom from, this is a way lesser extent, of course, but the mom of the QAnon shaman. How she went on the news and just tried to make all the excuses for him. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? It's reprehensible what he did. It's reprehensible. No, it's not good. It's not okay. Come on now. I don't know. I think I have a kid. They do some horrible things like, yeah, that's my kid. I'll be in their corner, but I'm gonna be like disappointed father look the entire time or something. Like I'm not going to bat for them, but I'm just there for them. I don't know. I don't know. It's blood makes things weird. Family ties makes things weird. History makes things weird. Like when you're just with someone for a long time, kind of thing, and they do something, you're like, what the fudge? But you're like, well, we've been friends for so long, and kind of things like that. There, there was an interview with like a childhood friend of Hitler. He's like, yeah, he was just a regular guy. He really loved his country though, like a lot, but he's just a regular kid. I think everyone's just a regular something, but we all have our extreme views on things, and some people take it to a higher extreme than others. Was Israel the only thing? Oh, of course, the crypto's falling down is hilarious. The joke for everyone is maybe we can finally buy some GPUs. Other things have been happening. Oh, real quick, today, Romeo and Juliet and Socrates trending on Twitter is amazing. Dude's like, when I was 18, I was with a 14-year-old girl, and she had a baby, and we were like Romeo and Juliet. No, no, you weren't. No. That's not the same thing. Unless I'm misremembering the ages, they were just both teen kids that were stupid as balls. By the way, Romeo and Juliet, I don't understand why we still think that's a great one. And then another Republican going, Socrates would be canceled if he was alive today. He's like, he was executed. He was canceled. What are you talking about? We would just tell him to shut up now if we didn't like his views, but back then, like, he drank the hemlock. What are you talking about? It's like the same thing when they bring up, like, Jesus would be canceled now. Yeah, you'd be canceling him. You'd be the ones doing it. Jesus is very much about share the wealth. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this shit? It's like the right would shut him down harder than anyone else. Because he'd try to take their religion in a different direction. He really would. Like he did back then. He tried to take it in a different direction. They killed him. They killed him for it. Alright, the point I wanted to make before. You can be anti-Israel and not be anti-Semitic. You can be anti-China and not be anti-Chinese people, like I said on the last week or the week before. Being against a government doesn't mean you're against its people. If you hate how the American government's doing things, it doesn't mean you hate America. It doesn't mean you hate the American people. This is something I take issue with my own people. I'm like, man, I wish our country did some things better. It's like, why don't you get it the fuck out? It's like, fuck you, man. This is our country. I just want to be better. How do you not want to be better? Hey, let me give it the thing in a way that you understand. Don't you wish your favorite sports team did better with some things? I'm sure you do. Come on now. Like, oh, is your sports team's perfect? Feel for the Browns, by the way. But, like, there's always going to be choices made by something you love. And if you don't have it in you to understand that it's okay to criticize, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Of course, that is, the fanboyism is a thing after all. And I'm doing a lot of cursing here, aren't I? Fanboyism is a thing after all. Love my country very much, also very frustrated with my country. Being frustrated with my country does not mean I'm not American. To this day, it's been like, I don't know, 6-8 months now. I still think about my boss, who's like, you can tell which way I'm voting because I have an American flag on my house, and it still bugs me to this day. It's been like 8 months, and it still bugs me. That he thinks, in this head here, that only Republicans love this country. No. Are you kidding me? I still think about that. It still bugs me that someone could think that way. Someone that I get along very well with can just think that way. It just bugs me a lot. And that's the thing. Every human is unique. We all have our different views, and we can be ridiculous. Things that don't make any sense, we can believe in for sure. There's probably very fine people who think the Earth is flat, with members all around the globe. I still can't believe that was a thing they said. Everyone's got crazy theories. As a person in water, it's annoying to just hear everyone's theories about freaking fluoride. Oh my god. Freaking, they mentioned fluoride in the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie, by the way. I'm like, oh, you freaking gotta be kidding me. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. If fluoride could actually make it easy to mind control people, holy crap. Oh my god. Stop using toothpaste then. Are you freaking kidding me? We have such an excess supply of fluoride now, not just from tap water. Everyone's getting the fluoride they need. Everyone's getting more than enough fluoride. It ain't just the tap water, buddy. So silly. So silly. So freaking silly. Real quick. Fluoride was more of a political thing and an economic thing than a public health thing. Or a control thing, if you want to go that far. It was, we got a lot of fluoride, or the chemicals that make it. We got nothing else to do with it. Let's make a bunch of states, or try to make even the whole country, use fluoride in the water supply. We'll just tell them it's really good for kids' teeth, which it was at the time. And yeah, we'll just make everyone fluoridate the water. We'll pay for them to have everything set up, and then after a couple months, they're just going to have to buy the chemical from us, and they'll be forced to put it in the regs and because it's in the regs and everything, and they'll have to just keep making fluoride. And that's what happened. At this point in our history of human life, fluoride is no longer needed, but it's in the water supply because it's in the regulations, because these companies suckered us really good. That's the real reason. It is a vestigial thing in the water system. You don't need the fluoride in the water, but it's there because regulations, and they're making money. That's really what's happening there. We get more than enough fluoride now because everyone's brushing their teeth, and the fluoride's just in the water all over the place now because we supplied so much of it. There's no reason to be anti-fluoride, though, because too much fluoride can be detrimental to your teeth, but we are far from that spot. We get more than enough of the minimum that you need for your teeth to be healthy, and we don't get enough for the maximum that would be really bad for you. You don't have to be worried about that at all. In case I didn't explain, because I don't think I did, fluoride just helps with your enamel. That's all it does. It helps with your teeth. That's all it does. That's literally all it does. The rest just gets excreted. Your body's like, all right, help fill up the gaps in the teeth, and the rest just comes out. It's like, this is the thing that I wish we understood better in education in general, is just what excess things do. Certain chemicals in excess, when you have them, do different things to your body. Vitamin C in excess burns your body, and it burns your cells in various ways. I wish I could explain them chemically right now. Excess protein. So your body can only take up about 35 grams of protein at a time, say like over 2 hours. 35 grams of protein. The rest of it just gets excreted through your pee. You just pee it out. You just piss out all that extra protein. So I've been trying to maximize where I'm just having some source of protein every 2 hours. So I'm just getting all my protein and it's actually getting absorbed instead of it just getting pissed out. So every 2 hours I'm spreading out my meal so that's spread out more like that, or I'm having a protein shake over a couple hours so that I'm just intaking more protein from my muscles. Because the old adage is you just eat it all and it's just going to be in your system. And to an extent, yes. That's why I say 2 hours, could be even 3 or 4 hours, where if you eat an excessive amount, maybe you can absorb 70 grams over 4 hours kind of thing. But right now, the current adage is 35 over 2 hours. And so, you eat, so the way you can simplify it is you just eat 35 grams of protein, and then after 2 hours, you can eat another 35, so on and so forth. Of course, you can eat excess of that, and maybe some of it's still lingering in your body to be absorbed in your intestines. And you're still good on that, but there's still going to be excess getting peed out. Same thing goes for calcium. There's only so much your body can utilize of calcium, the rest gets peed out. And same thing with sodium and potassium, just all the usual things. When you hit an excess, some things get peed out, other things actually, they bunch up and cause trouble. Like vitamin C can bunch up and cause trouble. A lot gets excess pissed out as well, but it can cause some trouble as well for your cells. What's the other one? Energy drinks are actually pretty bad for you. They're burning your cells as they're keeping you up. It's not the greatest. And I need to say exact chemistry to explain that, but I do not have that written down, so I'm not going to explain that. The random knowledge you gain from actually learning things. But then, here's the thing, you know things, but then to explain the specifics, you gotta go back and then reread and oh yeah, now I remember how it works, and I explain that. And so I'm sounding way too vague because I am being vague, because I don't remember the exact freaking steps right now. But I do know that's how it works. 15 minutes, not talking about myself. Okay, so introspection is what I wanted to do. I want to do introspection. I think a series of introspection wouldn't be bad. I also consider these are therapy for me. Why not do that? So I've said time and time again, Kirby's my favorite character. Let's do introspection on that. Why is Kirby my favorite character? Why is it him? Why isn't it, say, Mario or Link, or let's go outside of Nintendo, Mega Man, who's also on Nintendo a lot. Why isn't Mega Man, or why isn't it, a sports guy? Or, well, I've always been a fan of Michael Jordan. Okay, let's go with this. Who are my favorite people, fictional and non-fiction? Kirby is one. Michael Jordan's another. Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller is another, for sure. One of my favorite people, not knowing their personal views or anything, just there's an aspect about them that makes them my favorite. Anyone else? And this is, of course, through, more media things. Not saying, like, obviously Jinx is a favorite person. Obviously, some of you viewers are my favorite people. Things like that. But that's not what we're talking about here. Well, like, what are these figures from the outside that you are not personally associated with? That you look up to? Like, there's people who look up to Tom Brady. There's people who look up to Tiger Woods. There's people who look up to Venus Williams and Serena Williams. I do not believe they're not references to Sailor Moon. I cannot believe Venus and Serena Williams, like their mom or dad, do not read manga. I just can't believe that. Those names are too convenient. Or whatever, like Kobe or LeBron. Just thinking about basketball right now. Or like people, they idolize sports people. And you can also idolize gaming characters, like, him, like Kirby, or people really like Doom Guy. People really like names I can't think. Goku, anime, Goku. Or no one talks about him anymore, but back in the day, like what's it called? Full Metal Alchemist, whatever his name is, Edward. Was it Edward, or was the other one? No, it's Edward. Alphonse is in the armor. People really liked Edward. A lot of girls really liked Edward, honestly. Why? Why these characters? Why personally for me? So why Kirby? Why Michael Jordan? Why Penn Jillette? Why are those the first three I mentioned? And that is because they just keep going. I think The Last Dance is an amazing documentary if you want to understand Michael Jordan. Because Michael Jordan is a dude who he was about the game. He's about being his best every single game. Didn't matter if it didn't have any stakes at all. He put his best out there. Why did he put his best out there? Because this might be the first time someone's seeing him play. And that is an amazing mindset. And that's one I try to remember sometimes. Because another guy, another famous dude, Stan Lee, his viewpoint was every issue was someone's first issue. Issue being comic book issue. And I try to remember that when it comes to some of our videos. We're like, every video is someone's first video potentially. Which is weird, because, if I'm doing an LP, you think they'd go back to the first episode. But every video is potentially someone's first video. And if it's good enough, they'll stick around and they'll check out more things. And that's, of course, I have to come back to Smite, because that's what happened with Smite, was we just had really good videos, people checked them out, and they checked out more videos. And I think sometimes about, another thing that sticks in my mind is the first video of a certain someone. And that was the suicide story. They were going to kill themselves that night. They're on YouTube just passing the time while they were going to do it. And then the algorithm suggested them one of our Thanatos videos. And they watched it and they enjoyed it a lot. And then they watched another and they watched another and they enjoyed it so much. And then they tore up their suicide note, and now they're alive. As far as I know, they're no longer a viewer since we stopped doing Smite. But I'm happy that they're living. I'm happy they're breathing. Our first video that they saw was life-changing. That is the potential of creation. And that's the second thing I'm talking about, is why do we create? And that's part of it. Let's go back to Kirby. Let's go back to those three. Penn Jillette. Why is Penn Jillette someone I really look up to? That is because he's also a man dedicated to the craft. Penn Jillette has done thousands of magic shows over his career. Thousands. He does a show almost every single day. To a psychotic degree, by the way, because he went to his dad's funeral, then went to a show. Went to his mom's funeral, then went to a show. Same thing with Teller. They went to like one of his parents' funeral because the other one's still alive, I believe, and then they went and did the show. He got hospitalized, had the IV, went to do a show, took the IV out of his arm right before he walked on stage. He's that kind of person. It's psychotic, yes, I understand, but that kind of dedication is something I absolutely do find relatability to or kinship to. And you can understand that considering how many videos have we made on this channel, and poor Jinx, long-suffering Jinx that I've dragged along on this journey. It's almost been 8 years of this, making videos every single day. So why Kirby? Why him? Why not Mario? Why not Link? Why not all these other game characters, right? Why do I own like a dozen Kirby shirts? Why do I own 30 to 50 Kirby plushie / figurines and things like that? Why do I own so many things Kirby? Why don't I own just general Nintendo stuff? Why don't I own some other characters? Another favorite would be Doom Guy. Should have a figure of him at some point for sure. Why is it so much Kirby? Why is it him? I think on a cursory thought, you can go like, oh, Scarf's just trying to return to his youth because Kirby was my first my first Game Boy game, not my first Nintendo game. It's either Duck Hunt or Mario himself, because I had the combo game. That was my first Nintendo game. If you did not know, there was a cartridge, which was Duck Hunt and Mario, and you got the gun and everything, and that gun was always terrible. The Zapper. And so that was my first game, for sure. But Kirby was the first Game Boy game. But I deny that because I don't really care for my younger days anyway. I'm good where I am now in a lot of ways, but not with everything. Like, the things you like about youth, I think for me, is just the potential of what youth could become. And just the less responsibilities. And the fun that was had back then. But I like my intelligence. I like being smarter. I like being more experienced. I like where I am now compared to where I was there. A lot of potential, and of course, if I could take all my knowledge from now to then, obviously I'd be in a better place. I think that's the whole thing, is the question of like, would you redo it all? And people always put, like, if I had the knowledge I had, then yeah. If you didn't have the knowledge, then it's back to just being a dip kid. Bad way to put it, there's plenty of good kids out there. It's not for nostalgia. Not a fan of Kirby for nostalgia. Not a fan of Kirby to reconnect with youth. I find that silly. I like what I like, and I don't care that people think it's kid stuff. I don't really give a damn. I never have, never will. Well, the only people who care if they have that opinion is, of course, well, the dating pool. But at the same time, you're not going to want to date those people anyway, because that's just you hiding who you are. And I've joked about it before. It's like, when do if things are going well, when do I let them know that, like, yeah, I really like this thing that they might find kiddie? I don't know. I think people are allowed to have their passion as long as they're not hurting anyone, and Kirby ain't hurt nobody. I don't deserve it. So why Kirby again? Why not Mario? Why not Link? Why not all these other characters? Why not some other cute characters? Why is it Kirby? And part of the connections, yeah, from youth, but look at him. Look at the original him. There he is. There's not much there. You don't know much about him just from looking at him. He's just got this smile. He's a little cute boy. He's round, he's pink, and that's all you got. You don't know much about him. Look at Mario. He's got a hat, he's got overalls, he's got a mustache, he's an older gentleman, you know he's a plumber. There's a lot going on there. You got Link, he's got that elf hat. You're like, he's an elf. Okay, that tells you some things. He's got a sword, he's got a shield. Sometimes he's got a bow and arrow on him. Sometimes he's got bombs, a hookshot. He's got different things on his clothing. You learn a lot from what they're wearing, right? Like, you got some idea. Kirby, what do you got? You don't really know. He's mostly a blank slate. After all, was he placeholder character in the first place? He is a blank slate. And I've said before, who knows how many vlogs ago that was, and that I don't like what I wear to tell you who I am. I like me to tell you who I am. And through gameplay and through his actions, Kirby tells you who he is. Through me, it's through my actions, through what I make. through who I am. Through talking to me, you learn who I am, instead of what I wear. Because, like I said before, I used to wear... nothing had a logo on it. I just wore shirts and jeans, and you had no idea when it came to branding, because I didn't care about branding. Now, of course, I wear these Kirbys because, like, fudge it. I'm a Kirby fan. You're going to see that I'm a Kirby fan, but that's it. Aside from the Kirby shirt, there's nothing else that represents me. Anything I like one way or the other. And even so, like, the Kirby shirt's not always being worn anyway. When I wear anything that does have logos or anything on it, I'm usually wearing a jacket, so the jacket covers whatever logos are on it. Because I don't want that to be what represents me. So yeah, nondescript. I think there's something about that has always been a thing for me. And that Kirby he does what he does. And again, like Michael Jordan, like Penn Jillette, like other figures, Kirby just keeps going forward and keep fighting forward. You get that in the anime, you get that in the games. Kirby just keeps going forward with a smile on his face a lot of the time, and sometimes with an angrier face. Of course, that's something many protagonists have. They go forward. They just keep going. But for me, it was a connection to Kirby with that. He keeps going forward. He's just very cute about it as well. And he's just the variety of what he is. Another thing that is so much important to me is the variety, I suppose. Kirby has a variety of games. Hal, by extension, has a variety of games. Hal, from the beginning, was made by a bunch of enthusiasts. Gaming enthusiasts who wanted to explore what they could do in gaming. So they made everything, or they copied everything. They made their own Pac-Man. They made their own billiards game. They made their own... They recreated Joust. That's how they ported Joust. That's how Iwata ported Joust. He just recreated Joust. They made tons and tons and tons of games all over the place. And then when they were failing, because they overextended themselves, Kirby saved the day. Masahiro Sakurai with Kirby saves the company. And then Kirby becomes the character of everything they make. And they still kept their variety. Pinball, breakaway, mini golf. They, of course, keep having the adventure games. And they have the fighter game. They have more like RPG boss fighting game with, of course, with Kirby Clash. You have the mini Kirbys with Mass Attack. You have Tilt and Tumble. You have Star Stacker. There's, of course, Canvas Curse. And there's the Mirror, like the ridiculousness of that whole concept going on there. And then utilization of 3D with Triple Deluxe and Robobot, and just a variety of other games. You got Air Ride with the racing and everything. And there's always been like kind of bullet hell ship fighting going on as well in the Kirby universe. Like there's always been that as well. There is such a variety to what HAL makes. And they're now branching out to other just characters to do the same thing with Part-Time UFO and with Box Boy. So it's not just Kirby doing everything. They could have just made a game where Kirby just becomes a box and does these things, but they finally made a new character. They could have had a game where UFO Kirby does all the claw gaming stuff, but instead they made a UFO for that. So they're starting to branch out and having other characters. So Kirby and HAL, by extension, are very much favorites of mine because they do so much. They have so many projects, just like what we do. He's definitely my favorite for a lot of reasons. Variety, just the character that he is. Of course, also that he's the strongest. Who doesn't like the strongest character? Mario has saved galaxies. Kirby saved universes. Kirby kills literal gods. Link saves planets. Samus saves galaxies as well. Like Kirby's just at the top. He kills existential threats. The next thing I want to explore, now it had to be next time because I just realized how long we're going, is I want to explore why do I need to create? Why do I create so much? The part of the question I can't answer, of course, is why does Jinx tag along to do all that with me, of course? That is a question I can't answer. Jinx has to answer that, but see if Jinx will ever write that down. And that'll be next time, and see if I remember to do that next time. But here it was just, why is my favorite thing Kirby? Why do I look up to certain figures? Because they just grind it out. There's one of my favorite anime characters, it's Kumiko. It recently got their anime, and that is a character who grinds it out. Why do I like Izuku Midoriya so much? Because he grinds it out. Boy trains all the time. That is something I really like about that character. Boy trains. Same thing with freaking Zoro in One Piece. Dude trains all the time. Like, I like these characters who train. They show growth because they're actually working towards their growth. That's everything. That's the vlog. Long one again. Sorry, Jinx. That is the vlog. More introspection. And what I'm doing this is just like, well, here's me introspecting. Try to understand myself. Why not you do the same thing for yourself? It might do you some good. Because the more you understand yourself, I think the better you understand where you're going or where you could go. And I just realized the time I gotta go to physical therapy. So that's it. I had fun. Hope you had fun watching. That's what's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.